Heavy.
Bored.
Heavy.
I am heavy.
Bored.
I may say that the male is entirely hostile. No! Dinner.
Resources.
Life, friends, is boring. We must not say so.
Okay, we're back with a heavy bonus, and Meg Hamand is back with us. Meg, this is the bonus section, and this is paywalled stuff, so you don't have to worry about saying the wrong thing or anything like that. There's only for subscribers. So we tend to get a little bit more personal or a little bit more political or whatever it is, you know.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you, because I'm a dog lover, dogs. What type of dogs do you have? You know, what breed, and why are dogs better than cats?
Okay, so the entire time that we've been talking, my dog has been sitting on my lap and just so happy. So cats wouldn't do that. Cats would need to be on camera and take over the show. Dogs are needier, and I like that. My daughter's getting older and she's so independent. I need somebody who just wants to snuggle and thinks that the world still revolves around me. So that would be my dog. Mr. Darcy, which we talked about earlier, was an introduction. Now, he still holds a very special place in my heart. He has passed on. He was 17 years old. Oof. So we had him. Yeah, he was an oldie. So then we got another miniature dachshund, even though we swore we would never get another one because he could never be as good as Mr. Darcy. This one's name is Nixon. It's not political. He's named after Captain Lewis Nixon from Band of Brothers.
You have to specify in today's world.
I do, because everyone's like, you named your dog Nixon. I'm like, well, first off, I got to name Mr. Darcy. My husband named Nixon, and he's also a history person, and we watch Band of Brothers way too often. So we decided he's after our favorite character from Band of Brothers.
Yeah, that one great show. Yeah, and then also I'm a big dog lover. Yeah, and we have a little Chihuahua mix. I say Chihuahua mix because that's what it looks like. She's mostly Chihuahua, but she's basically a mutt. Yeah, and we got her from like 10 years ago, and I didn't even have a say in it. My wife just said I got a dog, and like came home with a dog, and so now we have a dog. And I was like, I don't want a dog, and now it's like she loves me and I love her. And
the house is not complete.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Always, I think of that Robert De Niro monologue in Meet the Parents when he's talking about cats versus dogs or whatever, and he talks about why he doesn't like dogs. But it's always, I always found that interesting. When I was teaching college for a while, I would go over like thesis statements in the, in the English Composition 101 courses, and I would start giving like an example. I'd be like, okay, so here's an example of a thesis statement. Like, dogs are better pets than cats. And then I would turn around and make a joke, and I'd be like, well, that's really, that's not a good thesis because it's, just true. It's not arguable.
Right, you don't have anything to argue.
Yeah. And then
also,
sometimes people would
disgusting.
Laugh. Yeah.
Oh,
everybody that has a cat, it's like, oh yeah, we all know you have a cat. We can smell it on your clothes. Yeah. Trust me, we know.
Are so gross.
Yeah. Fills your entire house, actually. Even if you keep it in the basement, it'll fill your entire house through that HVAC. Will blow that thing through every vent in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I always love that.
Please, we did have a cat growing up.
Yeah.
So
I've had cats before too. Yeah. And I'm not opposed to it, but having both, I'm always just like,
dogs are better.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Cats. Yeah. And then they give you affection. But they have to be in the mood, like they have to be in the mood to give you that affection. Whereas a dog,
I don't need that kind of judgment in my life.
Exactly. Or that kind of coldness when they don't feel like they're in the mood for it, or yeah. Dogs are easier to train. You can train them to do almost anything. I also say the cats are like the lazy person's pet, right? Because you don't have to do anything for a cat. You scoop the litter box, you put food and water out, and the cat kind of cleans itself, takes care of itself. But for dogs, you have to train that thing to walk on a leash. You have to train that thing to eat. You have to train that thing to not bite people. You have to train it to not bark when you don't want it to. I mean,
right.
There's just so much work that goes into it. So I don't know. The reward you get out of training a dog is just, it's almost like having a child. I guess that's why people use pets in place of children or whatever. But
yeah,
because you see the kind of input after a while that you're like, oh, wow, yeah. and you're proud. You're like, oh man, I'm so proud of this little dog. yeah. So I have a little baby now, so she's just starting to do things. I'm like, yeah, I taught you to do that. Yeah, so it's the same thing. More important with my daughter, but yeah, I felt it with the dog too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ghost stories, and I wanted to ask, and you hinted at this next novel being a ghost story. What makes ghost stories so compelling for you as a reader or a writer?
It's not so much ghost story as like scary, creepy, but I like the idea of ghosts. I mean, I believe in ghosts, right? Like who are we to say that it's just us here? And I don't know. So I like that idea. I just think it's not so much the ghost story as just it's history, right? Like all of the ghosts and legends in the book that I'm working on are based, again, I mean, I'm going to say fact, right? Like I researched it. There's some sort of nugget of truth there. And then it just evolves and evolves and evolves. And like, what's a better lasting story than like a ghost story or like an old urban legend? So I kind of like the resilience of those stories. And so I wanted to bring them back. I forget sometimes though that I did a lot of research on Charleston legends. And so then I wrote them thinking like everybody knows these legends because I've known them now and I know them so well. So when I had my number one reader read them, she was like, I didn't even know the Bride of St. Michael's was a ghost story. And she was like, I didn't realize like you were going to kill somebody. And I was like, that's the whole point of the book. So I had to kind of put in like almost like an epilogue of like, hey, this is a ghost story. And here's what we know. Now here's what I think. And so it's kind of funny, but I just like the idea of like these things living on in some form, even if it's like an otherworldly form.
Yeah, it's interesting. I always bring up my Edith Wharton. One of my favorite quotes that she has is, if you're hearing this, it's because you are listening to the free public feed of Heavy Board. To get complete, uncensored, uninterrupted, full access to this podcast, become a subscriber at patreon.com/heavyboard. That's right, Heavy Board is made possible by subscribers like you. For less than 1 cup of coffee per month, you will receive private access to uncensored, full-length episodes, Jerk Shop, heavy bonus content, subscribers-only AMA episodes, bonus extended interviews, and more. Come join the conversation today at patreon.com/heavyboard.